Broadcasting live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Here's your host, Andrew Romanella.
Okay? Like, just get the hell out of here. Nobody cares what you think if you're not a Mets fan.
What's going on, everybody? Hey, welcome into another edition of The Rome Show here on 12ouncesports.com for the final time, broadcasting live on YouTube and X. I am your host, Andrew Romanella. Welcome into this Friday edition of The Rome Show here, August 29th, 2025. We remind the people, if they want to get in on the action, head to youtube.com/12OZ Sports and comment live on the show, or x.com/12OZ Sports. Before we continue further, we remind you that today is the final day of broadcasting live on 12OZ Sports, and we'll talk more about this a little bit at the end of the show. But I wanted to start it off by thanking my partners at 12OZ Sports for a fantastic 1.5 year run. And now, starting Tuesday of next week, you need to go to youtube.com/the Romanellas. It's right there on your screen, and hit subscribe. So if you are watching the show on YouTube for the last 1.5 years, you can continue to watch the show on YouTube. Just subscribe to the Romanellas. The show will also be broadcasting live on the X account of the Rome Show, bottom left-hand side of your screen. That's the Rome Show 1, the Rome Show, and the number 1. Finally, facebook.com/Andrew Romanella. It all seems like a lot, but simply put, head to YouTube, search for the Rome Show. Head to X, search for the Rome Show. Head to Facebook, search for the Rome Show, and you'll find it. September 2nd. We can't wait. And a big thank you to 12 Ounce Sports. Got a lot on the docket today, starting with big time news in the National Football League. Hit the sounder. Yeah, didn't expect to start the show this way, but all-pro linebacker Micah Parsons, often considered the best linebacker in the National Football League, has been traded from the Dallas Cowboys to the Green Bay Packers. The saga for Micah Parsons and the Cowboys has been going on all off season. To give you a little bit of the backstory, Micah Parsons and owner/general manager Jerry Jones met post 2024 season to discuss a contract extension for Micah Parsons, who would be playing this season in the 5th year of his and final of his rookie deal. Jerry Jones seemed to believe that him and Micah Parsons came to an agreement on a contract at that time. Micah Parsons and his team do not feel like they came to an agreement at that time, somewhere around the lines of $42 million per year annual average value for the contract. That was the last time Micah Parsons and his team spoke with Jerry Jones, the Dallas Cowboys, and their team. Since then, Parsons did not participate in anything during the offseason program, has participated in nothing during training camp, including, but not limited to, a quote-unquote back injury, not wearing but anything but hoodies or whatever else on the sidelines, not practicing, and laying down on the trainer's table during preseason games. Now, Micah Parsons has been open and honest about what he's wanted from the Dallas Cowboys in the media. And Jerry Jones has been open and honest about what he's not going to give Micah Parsons because he believed they had a deal. And their conversation was as good in Jerry Jones' mind as a handwritten contract. So that is now ended. Not in Micah Parsons getting paid, which is exactly what Jerry Jones should have done. A franchise that is probably top 5 on the list of franchise in terms of capital, and you don't have the ability to pay the best linebacker in the league. So instead, he trades him to the Green Bay Packers. And in return, receives 2 first-round picks, 2026 and 2027, and defensive tackle Kenny Clark. No disrespect to Kenny Clark. But no matter which way you try and slice it, no matter what those first-round picks turn into, no matter how great Kenny Clark is, this is not a good move for the Dallas Cowboys. Especially right now, when you are in a win-now mode as a franchise. You have the highest-paid quarterback, one of the highest-paid wide receivers. I don't understand why you couldn't have one of the highest-paid linebackers, especially a guy that deserves it. So now Green Bay instantaneously is looked at differently, not only in the NFC North, but in the National Football League. This is the type of player, when locked in, when motivated, which I think he will be, is one of the best, if not the best player in the league. Not just at his position, but singular, straight-up player in the league. As reckless as Ndamukong Suh, and, that's not Ndamukong Suh, the guy from the Los Angeles Rams, Aaron Donald. That's where the brain is at 7 o'clock in the morning. Nonetheless, as dominant as Aaron Donald at his best for the Los Angeles Rams. That is what Micah Parsons can be, should be, essentially is when at his greatest and most motivated. And now, coming off this stalemate with the Dallas Cowboys, a team that it seemed like he wanted to stay with, he's traded to Green Bay, and Green Bay does the right thing. They instantaneously lock him up to a 4-year deal worth $188 million, $120 million guaranteed. And he's a Green Bay Packer for the next 4 seasons. What a great decision by the Packers, and what a really bad decision by Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. If you're in that locker room today as a player on the Dallas Cowboys, how can you show up to practice and believe that you are better at all today than you were the day before? How can you believe that your team is more equipped to compete in the NFC East today than it was yesterday? That's the other side of this coin. Outside of a general manager or a franchise not wanting to pay a player, outside of that, it's the repercussions of the locker room. And I'm not inside the Dallas Cowboys locker room. I could be putting my foot in my mouth in a few months because this could be the best thing ever for the Cowboys. But it's hard for me to believe that with the talent, to believe that when he's anchored a really good defense most of the years, especially when he's healthy, that he's been in the league. It's just hard for me to believe that any aspect of the Dallas Cowboys is better today than it was yesterday. And there's always the chance you could be proven wrong. Wildly, it's the same state, but it's similar with Luka Doncic. Could the Dallas Mavericks over the next 10 years be better because of the way things played out after the trade? Getting the first overall pick, drafting Cooper Flagg. You could look back and say, wow, look what happened after the Doncic trade. It was better. There's a small percentage of chance that could happen. And it's the same thing here. There's a chance that it could be the best for both worlds. For the Green Bay Packers receiving an elite level player, and for the Dallas Cowboys and their organization and their locker room losing one. I'm not saying that's what's happening. I'm not saying it's going to be better for the Cowboys. I'm just giving you the realistic vision that there is a chance. And we'll see. I'm putting my bananas on the team with Micah Parsons is in a better place than the team without him. So major news coming 6 days before the start of the National Football League season, a start with which includes the Dallas Cowboys and no longer the best player at the linebacker position, Micah Parsons. This sparked an article on the intrawebs regarding the highest paid players in the National Football League by position, and I found this very interesting. So I want to run through this really quickly and give you my feelings on the highest paid player per position. They have it broken down into two categories. Category one is over the course of a 3-year stretch, the average annual value of that contract. Okay, so what's their 3-year average pay per year? And then the total guaranteed money on the contract. Okay, so we will get started here with everybody's favorite position, that the quarterback. Here we go. The highest paid player at the quarterback position. Total guaranteed money, Josh Allen, $250 million, thanks to a March 2025 contract extension signed with the Buffalo Bills. The leader in the clubhouse before that was Deshaun Watson at $230 with the Cleveland Browns. What's a terrible contract there for the Bills? Great contract. Good decision by that franchise. Over 3 years, average per year value of their contract, it's the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott, $61.6 million per year. That is a lot of money. Coming in second, $300,000 less per year, is the Cincinnati Bengals' Joe Burrow. The bottom line is why that number is so high is because the quarterback position is so important in the National Football League. Here's your top 6 QB position average per year contract. Dak Prescott, Joe Burrow, Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, Gross, Jared Goff, and Josh Allen. Think about the names you didn't hear on that list. One easily sticking out, Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. The running back position, this one is easy, okay? It's Saquon Barkley in both categories, $20.6 million per year and $36 million guaranteed. Number 2 in the APY category, Christian McCaffrey. Number 2 in the guaranteed money, rookie Ashton Jeanty out of Boise State with the Las Vegas, Raiders. Wide receiver, same in both categories. It's Jamar Chase out of Cincinnati, $40 million per year, $112 million guaranteed. Number 2 in both categories is Justin Jefferson, and number 3 in both categories is D. Lamb. At the tight end position, it's the same guy in both cats. It is Trey McBride, the tight end out of Arizona. Definite get if you are somebody that is looking to pick a high-level tight end for your fantasy squad. $19.3 million per year, $43 million guaranteed. Offensive tackle Penei Sewell for the Detroit Lions, $30 million per year, total guaranteed. Rashawn Slater for the Chargers, $92 million. However, he won't play this year because he's out for the rest of the season. Sad story. How about at guard? You didn't know this, but his name's Trey Smith, and he plays for the Kansas City Chiefs, and he's the highest in total and APY. That's the reason why Patrick Mahomes can be so good. How about at center? Also the Chiefs, Creed Humphrey. You see that? Quarterback, not on the top 6 list, but 2 key offensive positions are number 1, both in APY, average per year, and total guaranteed money. That is why the Chiefs are a championship team. They build from the interior and then they go out. Yes, they have the best quarterback in the league most days of the week and most twice on Sundays, but their offensive line matches if not better. And that is the key right there. Let's continue with the list. How about cornerback? Sauce Gardner, $30.1 million per year with the Metropolitans. Derek Singletary Jr., however, has the most guaranteed, $89 million with the Texans. Safety Kyle Hamilton, both categories for the Ravens. Edge rusher Micah Parsons is now that guy per year, $47 million per year. Myles Garrett guaranteed from the Cleveland Browns, $123. Chris Jones of the who? The Kansas City Chiefs, number 1 overall, 4 defensive tackles per year and guaranteed money. Again, there is the reason why the Chiefs are so good. They invest in the right positions. If you're talking linebackers, it's Fred Warner of the 49ers per year and Raekwon Smith of the Baltimore Ravens, total guaranteed money. How about this? They have kickers, long snappers on here, and punters. We're not going into that. Those are your key positions in the National Football League, and who is the highest paid per position. If I was a general manager in the National Football League, without a doubt, I am paying or putting the most amount of money into my offensive and defensive line. I believe fully that you win championships and you sustain success in any level of football with a fantastic offensive line and a fantastic defensive line. And the crazy part about it is, it sounds like I am speaking very simple football knowledge, and I am. But for some reason, we'll go out here and we'll spend a ridiculous amount of money on certain positions and not the offensive and defensive line. And then you look at it and you go, how come we're not winning in the most important times? Or how come we're not winning at all? Well, it's because your quarterback is running for his life, barely has any time to throw the football. Your running back barely has any space to run, and your defense can't snap a nosebleed because the run is gashing you up the middle, and because you can't get a pass rush, quarterback's got an hour to throw the football. That's not a good way to live. Offensive and defensive line. That's how you build a football team. We're building a great show here on a Friday, August 29th, the Rome Show. Final day on 12ouncesports.com. So our final 12-ounce sports commercial break, which we're going to take right now. When we get back, we're giving you the college football playoff odds because the football season has officially begun. It was week 0 last week, but this week, everybody plays. This week, the big games start, and it started last night on Thursday night college football. So we'll give you the odds to win the college football playoff, and we will go into 32 teams in 32 days. We start the AFC East today with the New York Jets. So a lot to get to post-commercial break here on the Rome Show for the final time on 12OZ Sports, YouTube, and X. Listen, stay with us here on the backside of the commercial break. A lot to do. See you in a second.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right. At 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money, and we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
That's right.
With your host, Andrew Romanella.
That's me.
When you play Battle in Mario Kart and you don't turn off any of the items, there are bananas everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's like you're losing your balloons because you're slipping on bananas left and right. Bananas everywhere.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back into the Rome Show. Final time, 12ouncesports.com, broadcasting live on YouTube and X. Friendly reminder, if you want to catch the Rome Show on YouTube still, starting September 2nd, we will be sliding over to the Romanella's channel on YouTube. So head to youtube.com/the Romanellas and hit subscribe if you are a YouTube watcher of the Rome Show, or if you're just a supporter, head over and hit subscribe for us, or go ahead and follow us on social media. The Rome Show 1, that's the Rome Show and the number 1. Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok. If it's a social media site, you can find us there, but be sure to be subscribed because it's all the Rome Show starting September 2nd. So you got to be subscribed to all of those locations. If you missed us talking Micah Parsons, if you missed us going through the NFL's highest paid list, or you missed any of the previous Rome shows and you want to listen again or share with a friend, the Rome Show podcast, wherever you get your podcast, just search the Rome Show podcast. It's officially college football season, ladies and gentlemen. And it started last weekend with what they call week 0 in NCAA football. But that's not necessarily the official start of college football season. This week, last night really, but this week and this weekend is the official start because College Game Day returns. Now, they will be honoring Lee Corso for his final time on College Game Day, but that's not what we're here to talk about. The odds for who will make the college football playoff, but more specifically, win the college football playoff are out and are fresh because none of the big teams have played yet. So I want to give you the top teams in NCAA football that are predicted or favored to win the national championship. Now, remember, heading into this college football season, there's now a 12-team expanded playoff. So something to remember when breaking down the college football season as we get going here is one loss is not necessarily going to kill a team. For the history of my lifetime, watching college football, one loss, especially early in the season, kills a team. Or, excuse me, especially late in the season, kills a team. You would almost hope that loss would come earlier in the season because you felt like if there was going to be a loss on your record, you needed it to come earlier, obviously against a ranked team, but you had so much time to build it back. Well, now, with a 12-team expanded playoff, there's really chances for plenty of one loss, probably not conference championship teams, to make it in. So now the whole season really opens up in terms of who's in, who's not. It feels a lot like the wild card race in Major League Baseball right now, or a wild card race in any professional sport. So Texas, led by Arch Manning in his first season as the starting quarterback, have the best odds to win the title at plus 500. They are returning an offense that last year averaged 36.2 points per game and 4,600 yards per game with a quarterback in Quinn Ewers that is not Arch Manning, at least that's what the belief is. So this is a Texas team that should be significantly better. Now, they do have a pretty difficult schedule, one that includes Ohio State, Texas A&M, and Georgia. So let's see what they look like as they go through that gauntlet. The Ohio State Buckeyes have the second best odds to win the championship at plus 552. Now, the defending champions have a new QB. His name is Julian Sagan, but they return Jeremiah Smith, who's arguably one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver in the country. So some familiarity there. The strength, though, for this Ohio State defense is their defense. They were the second best defense in the country last year, giving up only 14.8 points per game. Can they mimic that production on the defensive side? And how quickly can their new quarterback get acclimated with the offense? Some of the next odds that are at plus 700 are Penn State and Georgia. Reminder, Penn State, that other elite level defense returning this season. Last year, Penn State was the best team in the country defensively, giving up 12.9 points per game. And by the way, Drew Aller returns. And how often do you talk about Penn State having an elite quarterback? He threw for 3,400 plus yards last year and 29 touchdowns. So a lot of returners on this Penn State team, plus returning on an elite level defense. For Georgia, they're one of the teams that have been there before. They lost 7 defenders to the NFL draft on the defensive side. But this isn't the first time that they've gone through this as a program over the last almost decade now. So for Georgia, it really comes down to stick to the process, because the process feels like it's removing 10 to 12 people to the NFL draft every year, retooling and winning 10 plus games, competing for the SEC title and competing for a national championship. They have a top 3 recruiting class headed into 2025. So that's how they believe they're going to compete. Plus, regardless who they replace on defense, always a top level defense. Plus 900 odds for Oregon, plus 1,100 for Notre Dame, plus 1,000 for Alabama, and plus 900 for Clemson are the top 8 teams in terms of odds to win the national championship. A few teams to look out for. LSU has a quarterback returning in Garrett Naismeier that threw for over 4,000 yards last year, and that's always a wide receiver corps that is very talented. And when I was looking up some information, a lot of stuff on Utah because of the amount of defensive returners that this team has and how good that defense can be. So that's your college football breakdown heading into the 2025 season. We got some friends of the show doing some work for us, and hopefully we'll have a college football segment for the people weekly coming soon. All right, let's get into the National Football League portion of the program. It is 32 teams, 32 days. Today we are breaking down the New York Jets. Last season, the New York Jets were bottom 12 in most offensive categories. 24th yards per game, 24th points per game, 31st rushing yards per game, and 14th in passing yards per game. Defensively, though that was supposed to be their strong suit, 20th, 25th, and their best attribute, passing yards per game, that was 8th. They had an elite core on the outside. A lot of changes for this 5-12 football team since 2024. First and foremost, at the head coach, Aaron Glenn in, Robert Saleh out. Aaron Glenn brings a completely different style to the head coaching position, plus his defensive prowess, blitz heavy and proven in Detroit. Now, we tried this as a Jets franchise few years earlier with Robert Saleh, taking an elite level defensive coach for the 49ers and trying to make him your head coach. However, what Aaron Glenn has done is completely different from the standpoint of who he is as a head coach than Robert Saleh. First and foremost, clearing house. Aaron Rodgers experiment over. Justin Fields experiment getting started, signing him to a 2-year deal. So what it really comes down to is, how is Aaron Glenn as a head coach in his first season as a head coach managing all of that? And is this the quarterback for the Jets? This feels like a true rebuild situation by every definition of the rebuild. Is this an offensive line that can be elite? There's some talent there, but how good are they? Can Justin Fields throw the football? It's been a career so far for Fields, all in Chicago, then 1 year in Pittsburgh, where his legs are great, but what is he going to do with his arm? Can he throw the ball down the field and get it to his elite wide receiver in Garrett Wilson. Because you have a big weapon there, you got to utilize that dude. And how good can this defense be? Because in 2023, this was actually a top 10 defense in the league, or damn near close to it. Okay? But last year, barely scratching the surface of the 20th best defense in the league. Aaron Glenn starts there. That's his mindset. That's what he's going to do. He's got some big dudes on the defensive line in Quinnen Williams and Jermaine Johnson that can hopefully lead that front. He's got Sauce Gardner on the backside, plus some other young elite talent that he needs to mold. And if that unit can be a very good unit this season, then it'll be a competitive Jets team. From there, what type of quarterback play do you have? Is it good quarterback play? Is it semi-decent to bad quarterback play? What type of play do you have from the quarterback position? And if that's not good, though the defense can be elite, you're just going to find yourself at 5-12 to 7-10. I don't have a lot of faith in Justin Fields. I don't believe this is going to be an insane turnaround for the New York Jets. So I'm going to give them a 7-10 record for this season. And I think that's actually a positive if you're a Jets fan. And all you want to find out is, do you believe in this head coach? Are we moving in the right direction? And is this the quarterback for us? I'm going to keep the music playing because I got a really easy what you watching for the people. No, it's not hump day. It's what you're watching. I'll find the sounder. Nonetheless, okay. Number. Don't know where it is. Either way.
What you watching?
4 times a charm. College football. This is straight up college football. Check it out. A lot of good games on the television and a lot of fun. And even if you're not a big college football person, let it be your warm-up for the National Football League 6 days from now. But you should be watching college football, and if you want to sprinkle in some baseball, do it, because the pennant race is getting fun in the National League and the American League. That is
what you watching
for Friday, August 29th, heading into your Labor Day weekend. I want to say something before we get out of here. First and foremost, I hope everybody has a happy and a healthy Labor Day weekend. You know, I'm going to enjoy my time at the beach, playing golf, and doing all the other activities that I love. Happy and healthy Labor Day weekend to the people out there. But finally, for the last time signing off on 12 Ounce Sports, I just want to take another second to thank 12 Ounce Sports for a fantastic year-and-a-half run together. If you include our first stint on 12 Ounce Sports, it's been essentially 3.5 years that we have simulcast ourselves on 12 Ounce Sports. You know, 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago now, when we first restarted this venture as a daily live show 5 days a week, that's something that I had never engaged in before. And looking back now, I am super thankful for 12 Ounce Sports and the team pushing me to join, pushing me to do a daily show, pushing me to be on 30 minutes a day and saying, hey, man, you could be a head baseball coach and you can be on the radio and be pretty good at it. At least, hopefully, maybe I think so. Every single day. And so without the guys at 12 Ounce Sports, the current iteration of the Rome Show would not even be a thing. And the future of the Rome Show, which I feel looks very bright and I feel is very exciting, can only be possible with the guys at 12 Ounce Sports. So I just want to take a final second on my final live show broadcasting on 12 Ounce Sports to thank the guys at 12 OZ Sports. Thank you for the last year and a half. Thank you for all of our time together. I pray and hope that we come back around together again soon. And your final reminder to now subscribe to the Romanellas on YouTube so you can watch us live there, or to the Rome Show 1, wherever you're following on social media. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the Rome Show on a Friday. Hope you have a fantastic Labor Day weekend. We'll see you on the Romanellas YouTube on Tuesday. Be electric. You know the deal. Andrew Romanella. Peace.
Thank you for listening.